Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some friggin' book quotes. I just recorded a different video, but I don't know which one's gonna go up first, so if my shirt looks weird or way too casual or just janky, it's because I got this worked on the color down here on this portion last Thursday. Today's Monday, and can't have a sleeve touching it. It's been like 2 years since I did one of these, showing like some book quotes. I don't even think that many people like these videos, but I like preserving them for, posterity's sake. I have a journal, a little notebook, where I write down quotes to save. That's one of the tabs I use when I'm reading physical books. I do it in ebooks too, kind of highlighting stuff when there is a quote that I just think is a beautiful quote, a funny quote, something written in a way that just is like clever and just like good writing to me, something that I want to save and remember. And that's what I do. I write them all down here. I'm not going to read all of the ones I have because I have a lot. This could be very long today because, again, it's been a minute since I did them. And there's a couple too that are really long. It's like paragraphs kind of, where like you need the whole context to like really understand or whatever. I won't read those necessarily, I don't think. Most of them anyway. Yeah, I think I have a playlist. There's been 3 of these prior, so I'll have that linked in the description if anyone cares and wants to see some more. It's just nice sharing the love of reading, right? The love of use of language, I guess, writing, and just the use of language, and just the stuff that I love about reading. These moments where you read something that you're just like, either that's like so clever and witty and funny, it makes me laugh, or that's so touching and poignant and like deep, or that's so tender and sweet, or that just like perfectly encapsulates like a very human experience. I don't know, just all those things that are just so great. And sometimes, like in this case, I have quotes from books that I don't even own. This one I think was a library book that I randomly picked up. Sun Daughters, Sea Daughters by Amy Ogden. And it was a novella, very short. I rated it pretty high. But novellas, I just tend to be like, yeah, I probably won't ever reread it. This was one that I read though, where I'm like, I wish it was longer because I liked what was here and I just like kind of want to live in this story more. Not because some novellas where I'm like, I wish it was longer because this wasn't like enough and I don't think it worked very well. Like this one worked really well and just had some of these lines. Atuale is a strong woman, but strength is no barrier to a bone knife of guilty grief slipped beneath the breastbone. Like, what the fuck? Come on. That's so great. A way of describing grief, and like someone is strong, but nobody's strong enough to deal with this grief, basically. Also from Sun Daughters, Sea Daughters, they have spent 20 years lining up the ragged edges of their differences and never yet found a match but one. But one, and that one is love, and Atuale clings to it as the ocean drinks her down into its darkness. Jade Legacy quotes. Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. This one quote has names and could be spoilery, so I won't read that one. Here's another one, though, that's good. Only children and gods are arrogant enough to judge what they can't understand. Love that. I'm just going to read this next one without saying anything. If you have read this series, you will know and you will get why I wrote this down. I'm going to try not to react or anything. I don't want to be like spoilery with my reaction, or anything like that. So from Jade Legacy again, Hilo saying, "Is there anything you want me to say to Lan?" That's all I shall say about that. Oh, hello, baby girl. You cannot come up here. Lily's trying to get on my lap, but I'm sitting on like a stool. Hi, I see you, yes. Oh, shit. Come here. Also, your hair is going to get all up in my aquifer, baby. Yeah, you can't stay here, see? What are you sniffing? Why are you so cute? Okay, you gotta get down. Kitty interruption. She's gonna keep pawing at me. Lily, she is pawing at my back right now. Ma'am, stop. She's like up on my back going. Anyway. This one was a fave of last year, I think, right? Or was it 2022? The Women of Chateau Lafayette by Stephanie Dre. which is historical fiction. So good. 5 stars, I'm pretty sure I gave it. The character Beatrice, who was my favorite. I had to do something for these brave young men and these orphaned children, because if I couldn't help them, then what was the point of being me? Talking about wanting to help with like war efforts and stuff. And then, oh, this one also Beatrice. I love Beatrice. She was so great. She's talking to someone who is just kind of like wallowing in misery for many, many years. Someone like not wanting to open themselves up to love again, you know, thinking they're not like worth it, like guilt and stuff, like letting them just like kind of be a little embittered and like miserable. And she said, "You won't make anything better by weaving your own misery into the collective shroud. If you find some tendril of happiness, then tug on it, because a world without happiness isn't worth fighting for. You're worthy of love." And then the name of the person. So great. Like that message. I just love it. I love her message. If you find some tendril of happiness, tug on it. Like, damn it, allow yourself to be happy. It's okay. This one was kind of funny, but also relatable to a degree. There's one part in it that's not specifically relatable, but it's Beatrice again from that book, and she had been in she was in a relationship, her marriage, that wasn't great, to say the least, and her husband at one point was, I don't remember when it happened, I think it was like during the war, but he ended up having, I don't know if it was a whole leg or just like from the knee down. He had an artificial leg though, and he had a temper problem. And Beatrice saying, "It was so good to laugh together again, to feel appreciated and admired, and not always on my guard for a barbed comment or flare of temper. How nice to converse with a gentleman who wasn't drunk or drugged or hurling artificial legs across a restaurant." Oh, that just makes me laugh because he did that at one point. But just the message of like that feeling like of like, this is nice to not have to like deal with all that other stuff. I can relate to that. And then a different character from that book. Again, this is like during a war. "Hi, baby, I see you. Yes." Now she's up between my knees here, trying to get on my lap. "I see you. I love you. You're so cute." This is a different character after... It's 3 different characters during different wars in history. So during this character's war, "I want to laugh and cheer that it's over, but of course it never is. It's an eternal battle fought generation after generation, and maybe all we can do is keep fighting, which takes more courage by far." Love that. A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, which I really, really loved. A lot of people loved. It's dealing with domestic abuse, domestic violence, interpersonal relationship abuse, etc. And the premise is it's one of Dracula's brides. And Dracula is like not in it because at the very beginning, she's writing a letter saying why she killed him. And so she's explaining, God damn it. So she's just talking about like their life together and like meeting him and like falling in love and then falling into this, you know, being manipulated into this like abusive place that it got to. And she says, "This felt cosmic, like a piece of me was being excised so it could take up residence in you." So good. Another line from Dowry of Blood. "I have one final promise to make to you, one I hope I will never break. I promise to live richly and shamelessly, and with my arms wide open to the world." So good, so good. A different character from A Dowry of Blood, another one of the brides. "It would be easier if he hated us," she said, "but he loves us all terribly. And if we go on letting him love us, that love is going to kill us. That's what makes him dangerous." From What Souls Are Made Of, which is a young adult like reimagining of Wuthering Heights. Character of Catherine saying, "He just smiled at me. The smallest smile I'd ever seen. Like a little flame struggling to stay alight in the wind." Like, you know what they're describing. You know what that's describing, right? Oh, so good. Oh, that's by Tasha Stewart. Catherine, again, from What Souls Are Made Of. "To me, you are all the wild and true things that are everlasting." Just so lovely. From Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri. "She'd slept in his arms last night, his heartbeat an ocean in her ear." Just lovely simplicity, you know? A couple more that are a little spoilery there. This one from Blood Mercy by Bella Roth, which I really liked and then didn't love the series as it went on and I DNF'd, but this first book I really enjoyed. She shrugged, once more trying to wield the sharp edge of indifference, but she barely had hold of her weapon and she brandished it in shaking hands. This character trying to be all like, I don't even care, whatever, but like clearly cares. Love how that's described. The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is David Martin. The same thing that had happened with the flowers was happening with my longing. Once I held it in my hands, I didn't know where to put it. From Labyrinth of Spirits by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is Daniel Semperez Jr. At the time, I was just a kid, and life was still a few sizes too big for me. I fucking love that line. I don't know why. That line, I love it so much. And then, also from Labyrinth of Spirits, Fermín is just forever one of my favorite characters. The cheese, or whatever that greasy, leathery substance was, tasted like soap. And as far as Fermín's gastronomic knowledge went, there was no indication that any cow or other ruminant had had a hand or hoof in the matter of its production. Oh my god, so funny. More from Labyrinth of the Spirits. She and her pain were old rivals, veterans who know one another well, exploring one another mutually, and sticking to the rules of the game. A character with chronic pain. This is dialogue between Fermín and his lady love, I think his wife, yeah, at the time, from Labyrinth of the Spirits. He says a curse. She says, Fermín, no blaspheming in this house. I'm sorry, my love. I'll take the pill for my agnosticism right away, and it will pass. He's just, like, fucking goofy, and I love him. Another character who's just goofy and, like, delightful from The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. This is Jack in a note to Hugo saying, if you see a starfish, detain it. I have some questions I'd like to ask it. Like, this is a contemporary book where he's talking about starfish. Like, what? So silly. Jack, again, being silly. Jack and Fermín in a scene together would be fucking high comedic levels. It'd be so funny. Hugo says, and you're seriously going to entrust it to some stranger? No, but I shall whimsically entrust it to some stranger. So stupid. Tasha Suri again from Realm of Ash. Her grief was a beast without a leash. Now it hung about her close and sharp. Again, such a cool way of describing grief. From The Beauty Trials by Danielle Clayton. Funny how we were divine when they could control us, and witches when they can't. Love that. From An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. Character of Laura saying, she kissed me with a martyr's agonized desperation, like I was the only sword she ever wanted to fall on. And that's all for now. That's all I got. I did get through the pages, I just didn't read all of them. So hopefully I'll have many more to come. That is like the hallmark of some of my favorite books, is having a lot of quotes. Like, I'll Give You the Sun and City of Girls takes up a fair amount of that notebook, honestly. I have to hold myself back from like writing down every line from those books, basically, because like, no, I would just be rewriting the book in here. Let's not do that. Let me know, as always, whenever I do this, I ask if you also write down like favorite book quotes, or if you save them somehow, if you tab them, if you do anything with those tabs, if you ever write them down or anything like that. I honestly just sometimes like open that up and like read through those. Just like I said, that feeling that we're all looking for as readers, of like coming across words describing something in such a way that just like takes you back a little bit, or that is so funny and witty and clever that you're just like, oh my God, I love it. And that's why I love reading, you know? Of course, as always, you can also just leave a little emoji if you want to say hello, make your presence known, give me a hand up with the algorithm or whatever. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.